teachers are coming and they're afraid to teach. I'm sitting there like, man, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
A homeless guy in Vicksburg, you know, was just caught dangling. So I don't know if, you know, everything seems to be about Charlie Kirk right now, that there's a response to Charlie Kirk, man, where these folks are going super ham. They're going super ham, man. And of course, you know, we do not condone violence. Political violence will not solve, you know, our differences and our problems. But if we truly love America, then we really need to latch on to the principles. And the number one principle of being an American is free speech, First Amendment. You don't have to agree to what a person says, but you're supposed to fight and defend their right to say it. And, you know, as far as Charlie Kirk is concerned, man, you know, he was not a friend of mine. He was not a friend to the black community, the LGBT community, the immigrant community, a lot of other communities he was not a friend to. However, you know, I think, and this is a bit controversial, I think you have to put him, you know, on par. And folks is like, no. I think you have to put him on par with Malcolm X, Dr. King, RFK, John F. Kennedy, Medgar Evers. I think you have to put him, you know, up there, bruh. And again, it's the same way with me putting Michael Jordan, you know, as the greatest of all time. You know, he was the greatest basketball player, in my opinion, of all time, even though I probably only rooted for him maybe for one or two championships. I was always rooting, or usually rooting, for the other team. I remember Portland and Clyde Drexler. I was rooting for Clyde Drexler. You know, I remember, you know, rooting for Utah, man, with Karl Malone and John Stockton. I remember rooting for them one year. I remember always rooting for the other team against Jordan. I just got tired of him winning. But that doesn't mean he wasn't the GOAT. And he's the GOAT. So I did not agree with 95% of the things that came out of the mouth of Charlie Kirk. But
Mathis.
Yes, we got to start all over.
Nah, we need to start over. How can you put this man's name in the same sentence?
That's what I'm saying. And I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, bro.
That's blasphemy.
I'm glad you said that. And that's why I just, you know, use the Michael Jordan context by saying that I believe Michael Jordan is the GOAT. I believe that Michael Jordan is the best basketball player of all time. Even when he was playing, I typically rooted for his opponent. So I'm trying to draw some type of analogy.
It ain't none. It ain't there.
I'm trying to you. That's what I'm trying to open your mind, Moccasin. I'm trying to open your mind, Moccasin, to try to get in to the space, bro. Do you see how these folks are weeping? Do you see how these people around here weeping, bro? Do you know that the Vice President of the United States flew Air Force Two to Utah to pick up this man's body to fly him back to Arizona? That this man's podcast, his podcast, was hosted by the Vice President of the United States. He sat in this man's seat and hosted, right? The President of the United States is going to attend his funeral. Folks, right now, locally, the city councilman from Palmetto Bay, bro, last night they met. They voted 4-1 to they trying to get this guy kicked off the council because he basically said, you know, a Malcolm X type retort. For those of you who do not know, the reason why Malcolm X had been silenced by Honorable Elijah Muhammad by the Nation of Islam is because he was asked a question immediately following the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. And there was like, everybody's mourning the death of President Kennedy. What says you? And Malcolm X says, chickens coming home to roost. It's natural. That's what it is. You live by the gun, you die by the gun. And he was like, chickens coming home to roost is part of the natural order. And that's never made me sad. It's always made me glad. So, the media took that and just super ran. And then, Minister Elijah Muhammad was basically like, bruh, like, you already know what's going on over in this country. And you saying this stuff on your platform, nah, man, I'm going to silence you for those 90 days. Similar occurrence here when you're talking about an assassination.
Did you know much about Kirk's work?
Like I said, I do not agree with anything this man had to say. Mm-hmm. Nothing. Like, this man basically saying Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, Harvard undergrad, Harvard Law School, does not have the mental capacity. Basically saying that black women don't have the mental capacity. This man saying that if he gets on a plane and if it's a black pilot, he don't want to fly. He don't think they're competent. This man has said a bunch of inflammatory things. It's not my cup of tea. My point is, what I've been trying to do and process since this killing is that there are other people, bruh, and to try to understand why these people are like so drawn to him, like so drawn to this dude. I'm like, they wasn't this drawn to David Duke, because, the old me would have just said, man, this David Duke, that's young David Duke, David Duke Jr. It's probably how I would have joked on it or whatever. But there's a difference. David Duke come out there and tell you, I wish all y'all was dead. Mm-hmm. He'll tell you, I wish all y'all was dead. Charlie Kirk won't say that. Charlie Kirk threw in a little Christianity, threw in a little scripture, and tried to come in.
Some half-truths.
And throwing some half-truths and some stuff in there and taking advantage of this, the algorithm certainly helped him a lot. The algorithm helped him a lot. And I would say to his credit, with Turning Points, his organization with 3,000 chapters, that he went on college campuses where he was not, even when he got shot at Utah State. Half the student population was protesting. They didn't want him to come. Like, they didn't want him to come, but the other half, like, wanted him to come. And so it was like, hey, free speech, and the conservatives have been saying that they didn't really have a voice on these campuses. And that's what the, Congress and the legislature have been talking about for the last 10 years, is that conservative voices have been silent. So you finally get this guy, this 6'4", community college dropout, to come and basically say, prove me wrong. Like, that was what it was. It was a debate format. I can't be mad for him for doing that. I can't be mad for him for going in there. And, I don't know if it's AI. I don't know if it's been verified. But on one occasion, the accused assassin, Tyler Robinson, is at one of the rallies. And jumps the line, skips the line, and is in the rally with a bullhorn, Step. He's there with a bullhorn, like, fighting fire with the dude and going off on him.
I don't think that was him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know but he's going off on them, and they going back. And right now, 2025, in the age that we live in, AI is real. Um,
I saw that episode.
you saw that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think that definitely wasn't that good.
Okay. Well, so there we go. Thank you for correcting us in real time. See, I don't mind being checked in real time.
I follow his work.
Okay.
I actually was a fan of his until I didn't hear. I always saw the mainstream stuff. I didn't hear all the.
Okay. So that may have been just the controversial stuff because you got it for clickbait. For anybody that's really making money, you don't make money by staying in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You make money by getting as close to the edge as you can. Buddy, 31 years old, with a wife and 2 kids. Like his goal, for all we know, his secret goal may have been to get on Fox News, to get a show on Fox, to do something like that. And it's like, hey, because how many of those guys, by the time they get to, get to Fox, they got to clean it up. Just like when somebody gets nominated for a position, they go all the way back. And now when you at your confirmation hearing, they sitting there talking about stuff that you did way back, like Justice Kavanaugh, the Supreme Court justice. They in there talking about stuff he did at 15 years old. Basically talking about this man a pedophile and a rapist and all kind of stuff. This man is like already a confirmed federal judge twice, because he had gone from a trial judge to the appellate court, and now he's there for the confirmation for the Supreme Court. And now you got these folks basically saying, he was a drunk guy that just took advantage and just did a Donald Trump, which at that time was close in time, Donald Trump's first term, and the Access Hollywood stuff, grab him by the, so it played directly into that narrative. And that's when, Kavanaugh came in there just mad as hell. He's like, bro, you trying to come at me with some stuff when I was a kid, which I'm denying. And there's no way, there's no video, there's nobody credible to even come in and prove it. So y'all just going to bring this stuff up. So to that extent, I agree. Both sides, man, just go nuts. If they not on your team, there's no limit to what they want to do to try to bring you down and try to bring your character down. But the mainstream, I never watched the episode of him. I only saw, I guess, the extreme stuff on the net. So you want to tell me some stuff why you were originally a fan of his?
I was originally a fan because he called out truth. He had solid, logical points. The downfall of the black community, fathers, listeners. It was just logical. Now when he gets off into the edge of the stuff I don't believe, but a lot of conservatives, it depends on if it's just like liberals. If it's not on their team, they're gonna say
racist.
The worst. They're gonna say the worst of the worst. Like when he says black women like Michelle Obama and Ketanji
Brown Jackson.
He uses it as an angle is because they're leftists. Now if he wouldn't say that. He wouldn't say that
about Condoleezza Rice. You don't think?
No, absolutely not.
Because even with them, he's saying that that they're there and they have a more qualified white person's position or more qualified white person's seat, which again, this guy's a community college dropout. Mm-hmm. So that, you know what I mean? Like
he wouldn't put people like Candace Owens in that.
Right, that was his homegirl. Yeah, that was his homegirl. So did they ever, like, what was their relationship? Because I saw them singing Ignition, Candace Owens, and they singing Ignition. So what was that? His one black friend to get him credibility, like Stacey Dash, Dash.
I've seen a lot of photos of him with black people. I just feel that, well, you can't excuse the racist talking points that he's having. But conservatives like that, they love conservative black people.
Right. So I see your boy Arnold, like he done lost his brother. You know, he signed on to the, whatever legislation to, a statute for this guy in, you know, uh, in DC. Their chilling speech here. Somebody got fired from University of Miami, a doctor, a neurosurgeon. She just got fired yesterday. And I told you about the councilman from Palmetto Bay. Well, they asking him to step down. Now they asking DeSantis to come in and fire him. Which is nuts and crazy. And then someone else, but they did not release the name. So that's what I'm saying, bro. They seriously in their feelings. When the last time you seen the left in their feelings like that? They just murdered the Speaker of the House in Minnesota and her husband and their dog. Like a month ago, bruh. And you know what I mean?
Left be in their feelings more.
But I'm saying what was done, like what was done other than coming out and saying, the president is not helpful when he's coming out blaming one side, and the president is not helpful, or the president caused this. Blood is on your hands. Like that's what they come out and do. But I haven't seen no legislation to say this. Because you got one of ours, let's legislate this, and they try to lump it in together with these mass shootings. They like, y'all ain't do anything after a mass shooting. Nothing. Like nothing. Thoughts and prayers. But nothing. But now that this guy done been taken out, y'all wanna, what I'm saying? Y'all wanna chill free speech. Which is the foundation of the conservative movement, the Constitution, free speech. And you want to just be like, man, nah, you can't come out and say nothing. Like they trying to come out and say if you post something, anything that what they consider negative, bruh, they're trying to get you fired. They're trying to weaponize social media more so than ever.
The leftists are the authors of cancel culture.
Well, they're using their playbook.
Yeah.
They borrowing from their playbook. That's what I'm saying. All of the cancel culture, they're saying like, that's what it is with these Karens. And you saw the blowback from that, where it's like, okay, well, I first saw it, I guess, with Zimmerman, when this man raised over $300,000, for killing an unarmed black kid with a hoodie, Trayvon Martin, with some iced tea and Skittles. I'm like, wow, who could do that? Who could fund a guy like this? But then we just saw it recently where the lady goes in there and goes off on a 5-year-old autistic kid in the park. And when they try to, shame her, she goes and makes her own crowdfunding and gets over $600,000. People coming in, sympathetic. So here's the one thing that I heard, which I think is something that we perhaps need to address, and that is the radicals on the left and the radicals on the right both want war.
Mm-hmm.
It is the rest of the people that they're trying to
convince
to join to get in and say what it is. So that's why it's like nobody can be asleep right now, because they working. But I would say radicals on the extremes of left and right are working to bring this to a head. They want to bring it to a head, whether it's the anarchists, Antifa, or I don't know, Teddy. What you say?
I just think whatever it's going to be white on white. That's the Civil War, because they're fighting amongst each other. Like, we're not really even in none of their conversations. They're using
different things as far as, you know, the DEI and all that, but really they're fighting against themselves. And I think the Civil War is going to be them fighting each other like all these other wars that's out here going
Where
on
they
right
gonna
now.
fight each other at, bro?
Who knows? I mean,
No, that's what I'm saying.
you got both.
You gotta think it out. You gotta think it out.
You know, because a lot of these guys are in certain areas. They're not in urban areas. They're only in rural and.
Yeah, you can shoot all you want. Ain't nobody care about what's going on out there. I'm talking about these urban streets. And on these urban streets, it's not gonna be no white on white in these urban streets. Them country boys ain't coming into the hood. They're not gonna do that.
I think
at all.
I think one thing I've learned about the black community in this essence is no one has the moral upend in the political anywhere. Like all these people celebrating
right a death.
I disagree with him, but I'm not happy
that
he
not,
died.
Right, you're not celebrating his death
not
at all.
Like that, not to be assassinated.
So this shows to me that, you know, a lot of our black community, we like to focus and say that we were the good people and the white people were the evil people because they enslaved us. When situations come at like this, it's like, and we laughing at his death, it's like, we would have enslaved them if we would have had the ability.
I don't think the black community is laughing at. I think we more so saying like that's them.
That's them.
And we sitting here watching the crash. We sitting there watching the car wreck.
I've seen too many. Well, I'm not gonna lie. It's mostly black women. I've seen too many black women just making a mockery of it.
Yeah, but they're saying that, you know, I think their logic is if your whole mission and your whole enterprise is profiting off of demeaning my existence, what do I look like crying? That would be more fake.
It's different between crying and rejoicing. I can understand you say, hey, this not our fight. We ain't got nothing to do with it. That's not what they say.
Yeah, I think that's over the top. And I think people who are doing that are people clickbaiters.
Right.
People
exactly.
that
they
like Charleston White. Like he
heard.
came out there and did a whole
thing about
with he looked silly.
Right.
Like the man looked silly and crazy, but he telling you it's all about clickbait.
One thing about social media now, it has really they weaponized what you say. They weaponized social media because it's everybody gets on for opinions, but nobody's physically going to do anything. They're just looking for likes, clicks, and acceptance. That's
exactly.
That's
exactly.
It.
And so understanding that, and here's what the Surgeon General under Biden said. He came out and said, as a result of COVID, beware of the epidemic of loneliness. Loneliness that, you know, everybody don't have, you know, a whole family in the house. Everybody don't have, you know, all this stuff to go through. So what they do is they're more and more reliant on the PDAs, the computer, the screens, the tablets and whatnot. And you got an echo chamber that's gonna give you what you want. And then you can get into the extremes. And once you get into the extremes, you're gonna go in there. It's like in the movie Ray. Remember when Ray went from smoking weed to smoking with Big Head, the saxophone player, when he was in there? Now what you got there? He's like, no, get out of here, Ray. You don't want none of this. He's like, you can't get in a more darker place than I already am. Let me get it. And that's what got him on that. And I think with social media, it's similar, is that, you know, the more alone you are, and you find somebody's going to walk you down the path.
Yep. Pay attention.
Right where you are.
Hey, we're here, buddy. We're here with you.
Yeah. And then go play this clown. This pastor right here, man, this takes me back to being 9 years old. And, you know, my white neighbors, you know, mom, she comes out, me and my homie, we playing, and she calls my man the N-word. And I hadn't done anything wrong. I'm just standing there. And then she looked and I guess realized what she said. And she was like, oh, you're not an N-word. You're black, right? That's the same as what this guy is saying, because he's like, if you in our church, you know, we got a chance to see you and see what you're about. If you in our church, we had a chance to see you and about
see your demeanor.
Whatever. But the rest of you guys, if it's strangers, I'd rather be around a crowd of white strangers than you guys, because y'all 30 times more likely to bring danger. Now, check it out. This the fantasy world that they living in, and they think they straight logical and rational.
You need to have the talk. The talk that we're referencing is the talk that takes your children according to their maturity at the proper time, the appropriate time, and says there are certain parts of town that you cannot go, and there are certain people that you cannot be around.
Yep.
If you're a Christian white parent who loves the Lord and loves your children, that you need to have the talk. The talk that if there's someone who is black in our church, and they've been in our church and we know them and they love the Lord Jesus Christ, great. We're not talking about that person, right. But we're talking about when you go into a crowd of people. If you go into a crowd of strangers and they're white strangers, there's some danger. If they're black strangers, there is 30 times more danger. If there's someone
that is so dangerous, because he's calmly and he's saying, "Oh no, we're not talking about you. We're not talking about them. You know, whatever." And it's like, buddy, buddy, when the last time you gone to a Florida Georgia game, the greatest cocktail party on earth in Jacksonville that they played?
Right. I'll be there.
When the last time you went to a Jet Dolphin game? The vast majority of the people that's getting in fights are what? White people.
Always white people.
People.
Even in groups of big
events.
But that's narratives. They just want to keep these narratives.
And those are false narratives, bro.
Yes.
First of all, if you go into certain areas, no matter who's dominating those areas, you know what I mean? Like, if it's Skid Row, you know what I mean? It's gonna be run by a criminal element.
That's it.
You know. So what are you saying?
That's it. See, I feel like, you know, we were already in slavery. We know what happened to us, but these guys were educated just like we are, and everybody's been messed up in the head because of this education. Like, we already know
miseducation.
Because of this miseducation. So I think a lot of these people, with being on social media, once again, they're paid to create these narratives, and they know people are going to follow them.
And that's what they don't understand. Nobody gets checked in real time. Like, Step checked me earlier today, and I was like, "Hey, I've seen this guy, Tyler Robinson, the alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk, and he was confronting him with a bullhorn at a thing." He was like, "No, I saw that too. That wasn't real. That was like AI generated or something like that."
And that's crazy.
So that's being checked in real time. But that's, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
And I ain't sitting here and trip and be like, "Nah, man, look it up. Google it. Let me see what it is." No, bro. Like, no, right now, you know, the truth, and hey, you got to give it to your girl Kellyanne Conway, bro. You got to get to Kellyanne Conway. Kellyanne Conway coined the phrase alternative facts. Like, what? A fact is a fact. Truth is truth. Alternative fact. Not anymore. Not anymore. We have our version, because everybody has to have some motivation to get up every day.
Yeah.
Like, whoever it is, whether it's the guy collecting cans, newspaper, robbing, you know, going to the, you know, corner office on Madison Avenue. There's a motivation. There's a motivation to get up, you know, and get it going. And Megyn Kelly, bro, like, man, bro, she done went down that hole. So Megyn is trying to stay relevant. Why? Because she getting older.
That's right. That's right.
Hey,
gotta put herself in a position.
Come on, bro. We keep it 1,000. Megyn Kelly is getting older. She got on because of her looks.
Oh, definitely.
She got on because of her looks. She was on, you know, Fox. They tried to put her somewhere else and whatnot. So, and not to say that she's not intelligent, she is. But what I'm saying is, I think Megyn, when you get caught up in that, it's like, just like in the music business, right? If you're a 40-something-year-old platinum selling artist that people know, right? who is your competition? The 20-year-old, the 20-year-old, the 20-year-old, and so you're competing for in that bandwidth. Like, you're competing with NBA YoungBoy, bruh. You're competing with NBA. You cannot compete with NBA YoungBoy. His people, he got some kind of dog signal for them, bruh.
Rituals.
Yo, I'm just watching this thing bubble up, bruh. This guy, NBA YoungBoy, is way like, I'm like, this guy cussing out Floyd Mayweather, because he got children with his daughter, and Mayweather's daughter's like right there, and he on live with his daughter sitting there, whatever. He's like, man, give me nothing. Who tell me that? Come around there, and just talking crazy, and the more crazy he talk, the more followers he get, and the more influence he has. And folks like Boosie, they gotta tip the hat. They gotta tip to the hat. They unks now.
He started young. Like he started right before Kodak, and he was already big before Kodak got even there. Like I say, 2004, 2014, 2013. Was when NBA really got in, and he's kept his own lane. He's been with Cash Money, but it's been secretly the whole time.
So my point is that with Megan, who's with all her accomplishments and whatnot, is competing with
the youth,
young lady from CNN, Abby Phillip. Whether you want to say it or not, but Abby,
she got it. She's doing it. She's making moves right now.
You know what I mean? Like right now, like Abby, yes, Abby Phillip, Abby Phillip, Abby Phillip, and then the young lady that's on the View, who used to be with Vice President Pence, and then she left, and now she comes on CNN or whatever. Bro, age happens to all of us, all of us, man. Like if you still around, you aging. So I think Megyn Kelly is like, yo, to keep this, I got to get me a niche. So look what she has to say. And all this stuff going on, she find a way to blame this on Obama. Like, this Obama fault, bro. Come on,
we don't feel like ourselves. We haven't felt like ourselves in a while. And I'm sorry to get political, but I'm just going to be honest. We haven't felt like ourselves since Barack Obama. I just think he was such a slick snake. He was
black. He's black.
And I like Megyn Kelly. I like Megyn Kelly, bro. I like Megyn Kelly, but I don't like opportunists. I don't like.
That's what they are.
I don't like when folks roll like that. So can we slide onto some other stuff, man? Can we talk briefly? Oh man, okay, right here. Y'all know who that is, right? That's Bruce Jenner. Now Caitlyn. Now Caitlyn Jenner. So he's a big MAGA guy, right? Right. Former. Do you know him, Step? Bruce Jenner.
I know.
So Bruce Jenner, like for the guys born in the 70s, right? When we grew up, Bruce Jenner was the first person that I knew on the Wheaties box. Because he's the triathlete. So that means he was represented as the number one athlete in the world.
Right.
Because, he doing the shot put, he doing the sprints, he's, the Iron Man.
77, right? Like 77.
76 Olympics.
76.
Yeah. So in the 76 Olympics, this man, he was the guy. And, most people know him through the Kardashians, but in that show, they didn't really put him up like, yo,
that was right before
Bruce Jenner.
That was right before his.
That was, but that got him very popular, right? They got him very popular and all that stuff over there. So he is trans. I don't know if he's had the surgery downstairs yet, but he was trans. He was married to Kris Jenner.
Yeah.
So all the the kids, the hot kids, you know, that's their daddy.
Mm-hmm.
That's their dad.
Mm-hmm.
That's their father, right? So when he's confronted out in Hollywood, because he has all the positions, all the MAGA positions, but when they asking him about the trans, but he don't have nothing to say. And why is it that he's going to continue with the views that he has? There's nothing that anybody's going to do or say that's going to change what he has, because I think he's in that chamber where he's being immunized.
Mm-hmm.
He's you immunized. But if you are Trump's friend, if you down with Trump or whatever, he's gonna find a carve out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't we know that right now? He calls it himself the weave.
That's it.
He calls his talking the weave.
That's it.
Which means like he is a walking, talking gerrymanderer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the man don't stand on nothing. He stands on nothing. Because buddy's out here. The president of the United States is around here talking about the Democrats. He says when it's the right radicals, it's because they mad about crime. When it's the white radicals, they're mad about the southern border. When it's the white radicals, they're mad about looting after the Black Lives Matter riots. That's what they're called now. George Floyd. They've rebranded it as the Black Lives Matter, the BLM riots, right? And that's when you get your radicals. Now, do any of those seem to make sense when you go to Charlottesville? Because they was talking about Jews will not replace us.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of those scenarios fit? Jews will not replace us. He's like, good people on both sides. They talking about Jews will not replace us.
Mm-hmm.
So where does that fit in, right? It don't matter.
Mm-mm.
Like, it don't matter. But he's like, but on the left side, he's just like, they just this beast. Like, he's trying to do like Rwanda, where you dehumanize folks.
Mm-hmm.
Roaches, cockroaches, the roaches. You know, and it's wrong, man. Like this buddy is just super wrong for our time. So for my folks, man, that's in there right now, hopefully, your case hadn't been played out yet, because come September 25th, try to hold your case, try to get a continuance, man. Tell your lawyer to get a continuance, man. If you in there for some type of, open carry, as long as you aren't a felon. Because come September 25th, it's all right. You can have weapons, open carrying of firearms.
So if they change the law and you make it, what would you say, continuous? You could be.
No, I was saying take a continuance of your court case, because if you got arrested for this. Mm-hmm. And you set to go to trial this week, right, or before the 25th, you want to get it whatever after, because they did not make this retroactive. If they made it retroactive, it seems like that's the point you're making. Like, if they've already announced that this is the case, then all the people who've been convicted going back. No, that's why it was such a big deal what the governor of Maryland did with all those cannabis cases, because the law has changed now. So he was like, well, I got thousands of people who've been convicted of this, and if it's okay, if the people are saying that it's cool right now and these people's lives have been ruined, he went back and pardoned thousands of people in thousands of cases, whatever. Our governor certainly can do it, but he come on. Mm-mm. But he's not.
So if you make it retroactive, that requires a pardon.
If you make it retroactive, then it would be you can go in there and get it vacated. You can move to have it vacated, but a pardon requires a governor. Okay. That's what the governor of Maryland, because even the law in Maryland wasn't retroactive. That was it was something that the governor did. But if you make the law retroactive and if you make it self-executing, then those convictions supposed to just come off the books if you make it self-executing, meaning it doesn't require anything else. But, I got no faith in politicians, as I've always told y'all, man. I don't like politicians, and the ones that I know individually and cool or whatever, but I do my best to stay out of their space. To stay out of their space, bro, because you're gonna find
they're lobbyists. Whoever's the highest bidder, whoever's got whatever their best interest is in, not necessarily the people, but their interests.
Like, I think
you for open carry or not?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm for no carry, but I'm fine with it because I think
You for no carry?
Yeah,
I thought you was a conservative.
I'm for it simply because I think where we are as a people, and I look at what happens, in Western Europe, man. When you go over there, you just feel way more safer, bro. Just way more safer, and it's like, okay, because the firearms I think it's required, right? Yeah, we want to check this lady out right here. Yeah, make sure put an APB out on her, right? I think firearms, as a conservative, I think firearms are necessary for the United States of America because we do things different than anyone else, on the planet, as far as the democracy, as far as giving as many people the right to vote, as far as due process, as far as all those things. And I think firearms, is a part of that freedom, right? It's in the DNA of the country. So I don't think we can change that. My prayer would be that folks would voluntarily just get rid of their guns, but that ain't happening. So since that's not happening, you know what I'm saying? I will shoot you. I will shoot you.
I will.
I will shoot you.
I will
bro.
open and carry.
Bro,
and
the funny thing, bro. I never had a dream about my firearm. I had a dream about my firearm on yesterday, last night. And I was like trying to get to it. Like I was dreaming. I was in a situation. I was like, I need to get to my fire. I need to get to my fire.
My fire.
Five. And check this out. We need this lady because I'm sure she probably not looking like that. She probably, when she put them lashes on and she put that wig on.
She got a nice little flavor there.
You know what I mean? But listen, a South Florida woman is behind bars accused of turning on her date in North Miami Beach. According to the arrest report, on Friday, September 12th, around 1:30 in the morning, they responded to 167th and 10th Avenue, saying that there's a disturbance involving a firearm. Officers arrived and spoke with a male victim who stated that he was on a date with 34-year-old Charmaine Shanae Collins at her apartment when she got a hold of his handgun. According to the arrest report, Collins allegedly racked the slide, entering one round into the chamber, pointed it at the victim and told him to leave her apartment. The victim, who was in fear for his life, left the apartment and called the police. So, the report goes on to say that when officers arrived, she was uncooperative, but they eventually noticed the gun down there. She had tossed it out the balcony, and so they went on and arrested her. So, what does that say to you?
I mean, but why did she grab the gun? Was he trying to make advances?
I'm sure. Well, she was uncooperative, so I'm sure that's gonna likely be her defense.
Right. So he was making advances.
That's likely gonna be her defense. Right. That he wouldn't take no for an answer.
Right.
And then plus, he probably showing the bulge that he got the fire or whatever. And he probably put the fire down, and she felt like that was the only thing that she could do, to get this thing to stop.
Because she made him leave, so it wasn't like she robbed him or anything.
Right. Exactly. Well, you're right.
And it's at her
Teddy,
house.
Go represent her pro bono.
Yeah, and it's at her house.
Go represent her pro bono.
Put me on the case. Put me on there.
Put Teddy. If you're watching this, right, little mama, Teddy T's your man. Oh man, here's my guy here, man. Robert Redford.
I just saw that today.
Robert Redford, man. I don't know why it is, but my favorite actors start with Robert Redford. Then they move up to what's my man that played Michael Douglas. So it went from Robert Redford to Michael Douglas to Brad Pitt. No, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio. Right? Those are my, whatever they got going on, I'm paying to go see it. I ain't going necessarily go pay to go see Denzel. I'm going to get to it. But those guys I just named, I'm paying to go see whatever they got going on. Those just my favorite actors. And my man Robert Redford was so smooth in Decent Proposal, bruh. Did you see that movie, man?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's throwback.
Bruh, in Decent Proposal, my man was so smooth with Woody Harrelson, man, was like, bro, I got this $1 million. He was just so smooth with it, man. Hey, what you take? $1 million?
Mm-hmm.
Like $1 million, he's just like, yo, man, this gonna do it all, baby. All you gotta do is just, go give him 10 minutes of pleasure.
That's it.
Just go give him 10 minutes of pleasure. And she's like, nah, don't do it or whatever. And then he just like, but he was so gangster with it. He let them spend the night. He let them he's like, boy, hit it all the way. Hit it however you want to hit it. Boy, hit it all night. And when you send her my way, when Buddy had to change her heart, when he ran up the stairs and saw that helicopter, it's like, oh, this ain't about to be. This ain't. Oh,
it's unreachable.
Oh, this ain't gonna be that. I thought it was gonna be. I'll be knocking outside the room door, like, hey. Nah, buddy. Nah, as Future said, she for the streets.
That's right.
She for the streets. He took her from her.
That's right.
But I watched any movie Redford in, man. Sundance Kid. So rest in peace, man. And, good age, fought for good causes. Now, here's my guy right here. Put that S on wasn't enough to pull him out. So this man done made $100 million.
I think he on that powder.
You think? You think?
Mr. Sugar Nose.
Oh man. His dad is like the athletic director, man, for like Dade County track, man. Like, dude ain't come from, know what done happened to Buddy, man.
I thought he was on the run.
They said he been gone, didn't want to turn himself in, but who knows, man? Who knows? Let's keep your man in prayer, okay?
How you blow 100 M's?
Keep your man in prayer. Well, the spot over by me where he was staying said it was 7 M's in the Porsche building. It said that's 7 M's where he was staying, and I don't even think he was buying. I think he was, that's anyway. I don't even think he was buying, man. Oh, go back to that Chris Brown. Who was that you going to?
Snoop.
Well, that's okay. You want to stay? That's cool. We can do Snoop. This is cool. This is our PSA of the day. The Snoop League was partly the inspiration behind the FYFL. Mm-hmm. Snoop's been doing it. They probably in their 20th year, and FYFL, like, we're in year like 12. Mm-hmm. And as our kids, mature and grow, like they won the state championship for St. Thomas last year. Now they at Madonna this year. They're there. A guy at Ohio State is the #1 player in college football.
They say
he's an
FYFL.
Yeah, he's and the legend goes is that he didn't make the 7U team. And not making the 7U team, his dad got him like a personal trainer, personal coach, and said when he came back for 8, he dominated from 8
all the way up.
Wow.
But he's one of our FYFL kids. And I remember we took 100 kids out to LA to play against Snoop's team, his league. When we, one of the things that Snoop's league inspired us to do, playing football here in South Florida, I ain't never had that issue with weight. But a lot of my homies had issues with the weight, trying to make the weight. So man, they out there in these hot suns with garbage bags on, with the garbage bags on,
2 hours before the weigh-in,
with the garbage bags in the car. You got the heat on in the car. You got the heat on in the car, man. These dudes in there
real, boy.
trying to make that weight, and
man,
and just just the way we grew up with the pounds. You had to make the weight on the pound, or you had to play up.
Yep.
Which I give credit to some of the folks that play up. Donnell Bennett, being one. Donnell Bennett was one of the big kids, but he's a younger kid. He's like 2 years under us, but he played on our team for the Chiefs, for the Pompano Chiefs. And we used to have him crying in practice like every day. But his dad used to bring him there and look at him. He ended up playing for the UM and ended up playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. So same thing with Kev McDougal. He played up. But, now, what they do in Texas, in California, and in Snoop's League, whatever your age is, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You don't have to, it's like, hey, because you going to school with these guys, you going to school with them or whatever, like, they need to play. And then what happened in Florida, that's why we didn't have a lot of linemen, because our skills player, had to wait till they got to high school. And by the time you got to high school, you know how advanced you talking about. Folks been playing since 5 years old, organized football, run plays, and you out there now trying to catch on. And to their credit, many folks were able to do it. They were just huge. But now, you had the ability. So we went out there, we played 3 games. We only won 1 game. Our 12-year-olds won. That was the only team. That was the only team. That was Naquan Wright's team. Naquan Wright, Cam Diva's son. Naquan, Cam, that was the only one of our teams that won. The rest of the teams, like, they won. Them guys out there huge and big. But then I want to say about 4 or 5 years later, Snoop and them came down here. They had to stop the game. We was up like 60 something, man. They beating the brakes off them kids. They beating the brakes off the kids. But play the clip, man. This is a heartfelt story, man. So play the clip. This guy played last night.
In 10 years.
I see myself, because in 10 years I'll probably be like just starting my NFL career.
For real?
Yeah.
What the hell? What the hell?
Jalen Smith, 3rd-round pick from USC. As we said earlier, played in the Snoop Youth Football League. Snoop's got over 40 players that have come through that program to get to the NFL.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Bruh, you know what I mean? And that's true. And now, that's the thing, man. Like, that's why we celebrate Snoop. We all took that picture. We got an iconic photo where we all had on our hoodies, because this is like right after Trayvon Martin and Trayvon Martin, and we all, kneeled out there and took this iconic photograph with everyone out there. But the blueprint was already there. It's like, man, you bring these kids and you show them the attention, you show them the love, and the consistency, bro. It's gonna end up paying off in dividends, and it has. So he got 40 kids. Snoop better not ever fall off. If you got 40 kids in the NFL, bro,
good to go.
You better not ever fall off. It better be somebody always does. Oh man, that's in line to say, man, bro, I got a crib down there, man. Go stay in that crib for a minute. I got something, man. You better not ever fall off, because they've been given so long. And that's how it is down here, man. These kids come in there, they like with real Super Bowl rings and trophies and all that, and trips and competition all over. So that's what it is, man. But man, Kayla Nicole, y'all know her? That was Travis Kelce's black girl. That was the black girlfriend before he left her for,
Taylor Swift.
I would have, just like I would have left Halle Berry for Oprah.
That's terrible.
You would have too.
I don't know.
You would have too.
I
You
guess
would have
so.
too. And you
I
would have
guess so.
And you would have tried to get her as your side chick.
Hey, you just sit here, Holly. I'll be back. I got something for us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You try to have her as your side chick,
I got something for us.
But this Chris Brown would take you down.
Mm-hmm.
He did her take you down, and she looked like she wanted to be took.
She was ready.
She looked like, hey, you think you doing
ready.
me? Well, who's zooming you, buddy?
Mm-hmm. She put
Like,
him up there quickly.
And, y'all thank us later. I know y'all checking this out at Metro West. Y'all checking this out at TGK.
To you guys.
At pre-trial. I had y'all in mind. Had y'all in mind. No gunning right now.
Did you do the show a couple weeks ago with Pretty Ricky and Flo?
No, I didn't go there. That was out
California.
That was out in Cali. Nah,
Yeah.
I didn't go to that. It was that was a good. They had a good lineup.
Yeah.
Well, on the 26th in South Carolina, it's gonna be one of those lineups that we don't get often.
Yeah,
but it's Flo's headlining with 2 Chainz, G-Eazy, and Vito.
I know. I was like, damn.
So
I want to see if I can go to that one.
Yeah, that's
that area.
You know, the last time, and it's been a minute. The last time I went to a show that I was like, do they know who they booked? You know what I mean? Was at the Mayweather Pacquiao fight. At the Mayweather Pacquiao fight, bro. We were on the bill with Yo Gotti, 2 Chainz, Yo Gotti, 2 Chainz, and Yo Gotti, 2 Chainz. And somebody else.
That was there for the pay-per-view.
Hey. And somebody else, man. I was sitting there like when we went in, right? I'm telling Flo, like, you know what? I said, bruh, this is how we gonna approach this. I said, you know, folks is like, they know, of course they know low apple bottom jeans or whatever. They know that. But they don't know like where you come from and do something like that or whatever. So I said, you got to do 2 things. One, they think you are on some rock star stuff. That's what you need to do.
Give it to
so I said, give them that. So when you come out there, give them that. So Flo came out there looking like I called it the motorcycle man. He came out there like Lenny Kravitz. You know, I said, yeah, come out there, cause bro, don't come in blending like don't be thugged out.
Be yourself.
These folks, give them a show.
That's what they got him for.
Give them a show. Yeah. Come out there and let them know whatever. But when we was in there, it was like, okay, now what songs? You know, cause all his records ain't necessarily meant for like folks who ain't they really on. So, and he had Gorilla Zoe with him. So it was like, okay, it was like, all right, so even though it's my show, we gonna start off with you.
To make them feel comfortable, then go up.
Right, so we gonna come out here, we gonna do Hood Nigga. Then we gonna come out and do Low.
Right.
And I'm gonna do Tell Me When You're Ready, and I'm gonna do like
you could do
some of the urban songs that
TGI Friday. Could you do TGIF too? You could have done that. A lot of people like that record. I like that one. I mean, Flo. When Flo perform, you can't help it because it's too much energy.
Yeah,
it's too much energy. You just jumping around. Don't know why you jump. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm jumping.
Right.
I'm
it's
just,
definitely.
I'm sitting there like, man, I can't do it. I can't do it.